yeah. The corner singer on the mic, yeah. To the new view, let's go. I might not be able to see you, but you can see me with your mind, baby. Even though you may have sight, you should know that I am blind, baby. So don't judge me, get to know me. Don't rush, just take it in slowly. I could do much more than you know. I can open your mind with my eyes closed. Eyes closed, mind open. Come into my world and let me change your view of me. Oh, eyes closed, mind open. Come into my world and let me change your view of me.
Hello and welcome back to Eyes Closed, Mind Open. I am your host, Hannah Kinsey, and today we're going to talk about something fun, something exciting, something that is my favorite thing of all, and if you could see me right now, you'd understand why. We are going to talk about food and cooking. And I thought, what better time than right now with the holidays fast approaching? Well, my favorite thing about the holidays is, well, okay, spending time with family, but a close second is food. And so I thought it would be fun to discuss that with these guests that I have with me today. So we're not just going to talk about what we like to cook around the holidays. We're also going to talk about what it's like to cook or to bake as someone who is blind or visually impaired, and then also hopefully give some tips and tricks. But ultimately, we're going to have fun. So before we do that, let's introduce the people that we have in the room. Some of them are familiar. Some of them are new, my new victims. So let's start with Miss Anita, and then we'll go around.
Hi, I'm Anita Miller, and I am Occupational Therapy Assistant for Low Vision here at Newview.
I'm Kathy Plummer. I'm also an Occupational Therapy Assistant in Newview's Oklahoma City Rehab Clinic.
I'm Kenyatta Washington. I'm an ex-student of Newview of Oklahoma. I'm also the owner of Cup of Love Coffee Company.
I'm Catherine Bagarella. I am also a former MOVE student here at Newview, Oklahoma. And I just love to cook and bake.
Ooh, all right. So let's just kind of dive right in. And I'd like to talk first probably to Kenyatta and Catherine, because both of you lost your vision later in life. So I kind of want to know, after you lost your vision, how did you feel about stepping back into the kitchen? Because I know that's probably something that seems maybe unattainable or really hard to do for someone after they've lost their sight or are starting to lose it.
Well, for me, it was hard. Losing my sight in 2015 and trying to navigate some of my experience that I had as a sighted person. It still worked at times, but not really. I had needed some training. I was scared of fire. I was scared of the stove. So the microwave became my best friend, and popcorn became most of my dinner most of the time, unless I had a frozen meal to throw in the microwave. But until I was able to sign up with Department of Rehab at the time, to get the different skills that I needed, the different tools that I needed to keep staying, to stay independent, to cook my own breakfast, lunch, and dinner, to provide, different meals for people who came by, different guests. I needed that extra training and the tools that I needed. So I do thank Department of Rehab for the services at that particular time that they were giving me to help me navigate in my own kitchen.
Well, for me, I never stopped cooking. So because I started to lose my eyesight, I was still raising two boys. So I really didn't have a choice. And I did have help with, of course, because my sons were older. They were 17 and 18 at the time of my vision loss. So I had the eyeballs in the kitchen with me. And of course, I had my amazing husband. So that was also a great help. But it was not without trial and error, because believe you me, I got a 3rd-degree burn I was cooking macaroni and cheese, and I still do not cook macaroni and cheese alone because of the 3rd-degree burn. I had a pot of macaroni and cheese come off the stove, and the boiling water went down my side. But yeah, luckily though, my husband is a medical assistant, and Silvadene cream was my best friend, but also my worst enemy.
Whew. Well, first of all, Kenyatta, popcorn is still one of my favorite dinners, and I do cook. But sometimes you get home from work and you're just like, man, I want to do nothing. And I usually rely on Catherine and her husband Randall to feed me. And then when they don't, I got to eat popcorn for dinner. So
She's telling a story.
I am telling a story. But I completely, can relate and understand, except, for me, it was different because I have been blind my whole life. So I think for me, I didn't get into the kitchen for other reasons, namely because my mom and my aunts are just fantastic, phenomenal cooks and bakers. So I was just like, well, what do I need to do it for? Because, growing up especially. And now, of course, that I'm out on my own, you have to do it for yourself. And that's why I should have learned earlier. But it's okay. I never had any terrifying, horrible experiences or anything like that, I think the worst thing that I did was, and this actually happened kind of recently, I was making some stuffed pepper soup, and then I was also making garlic bread, and somehow I managed to flip the spoon I was using to stir the soup into the oven as I was pulling out my garlic bread. And that was fun to go hunting for the utensil that I threw in the oven, but, it all ended well. Nothing horrible happened. And I don't, I think back too, because I'm like, I wonder how many blind people would just shove their hand into the oven and grab a utensil out. I mean, I had a mitt on, but still, I don't know that many people would just think, oh, I'm going to grab that. But I did. Anita and KP or Kathy, how has your experience been, going and seeing patients or clients and trying to get them to re-enter or enter the kitchen for the first time? Do you find that hard, or do you mostly see that they're willing to do that, or what's your experiences there?
So some people are very willing, and kind of like Catherine in that they really didn't stop cooking a lot. And we can show them different adaptive equipment or equipment that may help them that they didn't realize that was available to them. And we teach them things like utilizing extra light and contrast while they're cooking. But mostly what I found is either people don't want to cook at all, or they're eager to learn things so that they can be safe, like, for instance, with chopping and slicing. And there's all kinds of gadgets out there that can help with that. And, if somebody's had an accident with a knife, I try to tell them that doesn't necessarily happen just because of their vision, because I cut myself too when I'm cooking. So I think it's more about learning the techniques to help you be safe, what equipment's available, and then just being slow and careful. I probably would be like Catherine and reach my hand in the oven after that spoon as well before I realized it was going to be hot and melty.
That was me.
That was Hannah.
Yeah. And it was rather melty. And in hindsight, I probably should have waited a little, but I was like, I don't want to make it worse by leaving it in there. So I just went for it. So Anita, what?
Well, and we start out with baby steps, especially if it's something they're really worried about. And microwave is the best friend for most people. We place bump dots so they make it easier with just a couple of markings. And then we progress to the air fryer and the stovetop and the oven. And by the time we get done, most of the time, I've got them cooking 2 devices at the same time, which is, a lot of planning. But yeah, it's a matter of what they want to do. Sometimes that muscle memory comes back. And yeah, I remember how to do that. I just was scared of trying that now. But when hindsight, once they get going on it and put a cut-proof glove or something that's going to keep them safe, they are jump into it. It's amazing, especially food will motivate you. Yeah, the holidays is a great time because everybody, I think, has a favorite dish or something that they're known for cooking if they like to cook. And so that's a really good time right now working with people because they're like, I used to make the pies. Well, let's dive into that. So it's very rewarding for me working with people too. And it's great because we usually get to taste it. I love this job.
KP, the first time I met her, speaking of bump dotted my kitchen for me. And I mean, just to know where the button was on the dishwasher so I could start my own dishwasher and not have to depend on anybody. Oh man, I felt amazing. And then to be able to do the microwave and then turn my own oven on. Yeah.
It gives people a lot of confidence that they can still or resume doing those things that they've given up on. And sometimes you can physically see a difference in their posture and their demeanor after they've learned a new way to do things or a different way to do things. It makes such a difference, and it makes them feel really good that they can do something again that they've given up on or had to give up on.
Oh, yeah, because it takes a lot of independence away when you, like Kenyatta and I later in life, lost your eyesight. Right. And it takes a lot of independence away when you have to stop working and you can't do, and you feel like, or at least for myself, I know I felt like, well, I don't contribute anymore and I'm not doing anything. And my husband and both of my boys will argue me down and they're like, you do the laundry, you cook, you do this, you still clean. So no, you do a lot around here. And I'm like, yeah, but I can't work. And they're like, you do work.
And once I knew that I truly needed to get more independent in the kitchen, this is like in 2015, 2016, my son was living with me. And I was always counting on him to do the cooking, counting on him to bring something in so we can eat. And this one particular time, I'm waiting on my son. I'm like, well, come on, where are you? And Mom, I'm coming, blah, 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 blah. I'm getting hungry. I said, this will not be another popcorn night. This will not be another popcorn night. But at that particular time, I said, you know what? I need to get independent. I need to learn the skills in the kitchen. I need to learn new techniques as a blind person. And I did. I got those tools and I got all the equipment and utensils that I need and just began my journey there. I come from a family that loves to cook. And I took on some of that. Not all of it. Some of it. I tell people, I said, my husband didn't marry me because I'm a good cook. But we cook to survive. Right. Yeah. But yeah, so my family, it started with my grandmother. So, and it wasn't Thanksgiving. It wasn't just holidays. Every day or every time you went over there, my grandmother always had a spread. Always had a spread. Always. And she had desserts to go with it. But you felt like it was Thanksgiving or Christmas every time you went over. And it was just, awesome. A regular day, So yeah, it comes from the fam.
Yeah. I love what you said though, that, you finally saw that need for independence, right? Because you were waiting and you're just like, well, I don't want to wait anymore. But I mean, the reality is this kind of can sound bleak depending on how people, say it to you. For instance, my parents used to say, well, one day we're going to die. And what are you going to do? And I'm just like, well, thank you. That's a precious way to say that. But there's not always going to be someone there to help you. So you're going to, at some point, need to take that initiative. And it's scary. It can be very scary, especially if you just feel like you can't do it. Like you said, Kenyatta, I was comfortable using the microwave and that's it. But I mean,
I burnt the motor out of it.
all that popcorn. But I mean, thank goodness though that you saw that need and you're like, well, I'm going to figure it
Time for a
out because I
change,
need
yeah.
to. Yeah.
I think sometimes with the people that we work with, we kind of have to leave them alone a little bit and let them sort of come to the end of themselves, so to speak, where they decide, yeah, I can do this, or I really need to do this. And that instead of enabling them by doing it for them all the time.
Yes.
And again, like I say, it just is neat to see the confidence that it builds. I had a young lady I took to the grocery store last Friday, and we talked about cooking the very first time I saw her, and she has been cooking. She was kind of afraid to, and she's pretty young, in her 20s still, I think. And she just seemed very proud of herself. She'd baked some banana bread and some, done some different cooking skills in her kitchen, and she just was real excited. It made me feel good that she was taking to heart what Anita and I show our clients, and if they'll try, usually they can accomplish what they want to do.
Yep, that's true. Well, and even like, we talked about, it starts maybe with the microwave, but then you move to like the air fryer or different things like that. And the way that technology is progressing, or, these new appliances are coming out, there's some really cool things that you can do, and you don't really have to know how to do a lot. And so, I mean, there's a lot out there that you can feel like you're really cooking up something fancy, but you're just, throwing a few things in the air fryer, which I love easy things like that. That still tastes good.
I'm an easy cook.
Or in the
30
pressure
minutes and that's
cooker.
it.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah, pressure cooker.
The
yeah.
Instant Pot
Oh,
is my
my
best
gosh.
friend. Now, I know that a lot of people, it's kind of scary. I had someone the other day say, they asked me, you use the Instant Pot? And I was like, oh, all the time. And they said, I never will. I'm terrified of pressure cookers. But I think it's like the best invention ever. I can make everything in one pot, so less mess, and it's quick, and I'm lazy. So if I can set it and forget it, then I will. I always will. But like that set it and forget it sort of method is like my favorite. And so I love the Instant Pot, which I was eventually going to ask, what your favorite little gadgets to use in the kitchen. So I guess we can talk about that and then pivot to something else. But
I love crock pots. But speaking of an air fryer, and don't talk about me, ladies. I've been married to my husband for 4 years, and one of our wedding gifts is a air fryer. It's still in the box, never opened. So I just heard Miss Anita over here saying, maybe putting some bump dots or something like that on this air fryer. But yeah, I heard that the air fryer is one of the best things going on right now.
yes.
Oh, yeah.
So I love the crock pot also, because I like to put everything in there, put that lid on there, and 8 hours later, it's dinner.
So I have an air fryer that connects to an app that is actually reasonably accessible. And so all you have to mark is your start button, because so you'll put it to like whatever you want to do, your temperature and your time, and then you'll just press the start button on your air fryer and boom, you're ready to go. It's so easy. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes I think it was accidentally accessible. I don't think they made it accessible on purpose, but it works and I love it. So and I use it all the time.
Yeah, I want to try that air fryer.
Yeah.
I've worked with somebody who had an air fryer that was accessible with Alexa, and then she could use another app on her phone to read the recipe out of the recipe book from the air fryer, and she could tell it to turn on and warm up the temperature to the right place, and it gave her an alarm when that went off. And then she could tell it based on the recipe how to set it, what temperature, and for how much time. So, which was awesome.
It is awesome.
Yeah. She was very young and had lost her vision pretty quickly and lost it completely. So, but she was very good with technology, being so young, and so she was pretty excited to be able to cook. was neat to see the change in her too.
And that's exactly right. With a lot of cooking, technology has changed things so much. From phone apps that'll read for you or describe things now. And it doesn't take a lot of education to learn those apps, or getting one for people that are single will have Be My Eyes. I had a client that we made angel food cupcakes. Well, I've never made the cupcakes. I've made the full cakes or the loaf pan. So I don't know any idea how long to cook a cupcake for angel food cake. And she just used Be My Eyes to find out if it was light brown, and it worked out beautifully. So yeah, so there's a lot with technology and apps that are out there to help people. And a lot of them aren't that difficult to learn.
I figure if you need any help with any apps, just give a 5-year-old call.
That's right. A grandchild, yes.
Right. I will say this: when I was a student here at the MOVE program, Miss Anita, we cooked is it the 2-in-1 cake?
Yeah, 3
in 1,
Yeah.
the angel food and something else, put it in the microwave. I love that. So after she showed me how to make that, I mean, I ate that cake. I made those cakes maybe 2 or 3 times a week.
She wasn't eating popcorn for dinner.
No. And I am a convenience cooker. I like it just convenience, 30-minute meals or less. I'm not no slaving over a
And that's
stove.
why I love the pressure cooker.
That's what I'm saying. You got to get an Instant Pot.
I'm just saying, I'm all about quick and fast, and I love my crock pot too. Don't get me wrong, but I went home to Georgia for about 5 weeks, and I said, you know what? I told my best friend there. I said, Brenda, I want to surprise Randall. He hasn't had oxtails in so long, and he wanted some oxtails, so we went out, and the day him and Chris were coming in, I went and bought oxtails and collard greens, and we had 3 pressure cookers going at one time. We had 2 full with oxtails and 1 full with some collard greens. And when I tell you, I browned the oxtails on the stove, and of course, we seasoned them, and then we turned the Instapot on, or the pressure cooker on to saute, and I had my onions going in there, and then we finished the other side of the oxtails in the pressure cooker, and then we put all the stuff in there. And I tell you, I thought my boys were going to turn their nose up at it. No, ma'am, my boys tore it up, and they were like, Mom, you're going to have to make this again. I was like, oh my goodness.
You had a pressure cooker in an Instapot?
They're both
Well,
the same.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Jerome, if you're listening, this is your wife. I like to have a pressure cooker for Christmas.
Yeah, she needs an Instant Pot. She needs
Instapot
one.
quickly.
Yeah.
They're the best way to cook deviled eggs.
Oh, I love
Really?
Oh yeah, if you
Really?
boil
Talk
eggs
about
in
fast and easy,
Yes.
and then the shells just peel right off.
I agree.
I call them angel eggs, but I know what you're talking about.
KP, we're going to have to talk
No,
after
it's
we
true.
leave here.
Boiling eggs in the Instant Pot is so good. I also like to make like pinto beans and cornbread, in the Instant Pot. So much less time. You don't have to like soak them and then, tend to them all day long. No, like an hour and a half, you got beans.
Are they soft though?
Oh yeah. I tried it. I've done it. And I'll never go back.
I'm going to have to try that.
Yeah, you should.
And normally when you boil the oxtails, you cook them all, for hours. No, ma'am. 60 minutes.
See? That's what I'm saying.
60 minutes. And then the natural, I think it was like a 15-minute release where it naturally released the pressure. And oh my gosh, dinner was on. And Randall will tell you, I don't think my husband ate like that. Well, he hadn't eaten like that in 5 weeks because I was gone.
Oh my goodness.
No, I tease him, but he's a great cook. Any kind of Southern dish, I count on him.
Yeah. So what would you guys think, and this is for all of you, either what's the hardest thing that you've had to teach someone as far as cooking is concerned, or for Kenyatta and Catherine, what's the hardest thing in the kitchen for you to do? and I'll answer as well, but
I would say going back to the macaroni and cheese, that probably one of the hardest things is being able to drain pasta. And I had a cheap pan at home for a long time that was like a stew pot, but it had a colander that sat down inside of it with handles, and you could just lift it out. So then you could set your hot pot of water in the sink and let it cool before you had to pour it. So that I thought was a good thing to think about if you like to cook pasta a lot, because to me that's a hard thing, is to pour out the hot water.
Well, I think the only reason why I guess I've never had a problem with the pasta thing is because being Italian, I've cooked
until your mac and cheese.
No, that wasn't draining it.
Oh, okay.
No, it slid off of the stove.
Oh, you mean it slid off the burner?
It slid off the burner because the house I grew up in, the foundation was uneven. And so the stove sat uneven. And I didn't know this particular pot had a tendency to slide off the burner. And I was trying to have dinner done by the time Randall got home. And so I was boiling the macaroni and I was stirring it so it wouldn't stick. And I barely gripped the pot to hold it. And it went, and instead of me just jumping back and letting it fall and getting out of the kitchen, I tried to grab it and it went down my side. And I was like, words were said that should have never been said.
I believe that.
But so growing up in the household I grew up in, as a little kid, we were always helping drain the pasta. So I think that's not a fear of mine.
You had that muscle memory already.
Yeah, I already had that muscle memory. I think my biggest fear was, until I got acclimated to it, was chopping. Yeah. And now, even though I should use the chopper, I'm more comfortable using a knife. I'm afraid to use the chopper. Like, I think I'm going to set the onion on there and then, hit it to chop it, and my hand will go down in it or something.
Oh, my.
Well, I had a situation like that as well, because the way our stove is made, it's kind of high up, and I was cooking some sloppy Joe mix one time, and it slid off the stove, and it was sloppy everywhere. But my fearful is cracking eggs.
Oh, really?
Cracking eggs. Very fearful of that. I'm learning.
Are you afraid of the shell? Getting the shells in there? Okay, okay.
Mm-hmm. I'm learning. I had someone to, coach me. So far, I don't think Jerome has eaten any shells in his scrambled eggs. He hadn't said anything. But
just a little extra protein.
Yes, cracking those eggs, because everything we eat has, whatever recipe I'm going to look at, it mostly calls for an egg or two. So yeah, it's cracking eggs.
I think the thing for me was, first of all, just, if you're stirring something that's like really thick, or there's a lot of things that you want really stirred in, sometimes that can be tricky if you can't see it. But of course, and sometimes you don't want to over stir things depending on what you're making. But, that's more of just a learning. But I think the thing that I struggled with most until I found some like tips and tricks was to do like very small measurements of things. So when you just need like a teaspoon or even no less, fourth a teaspoon of like vanilla or something, that's what was really tricky for me until you kind of learn some ways around that. Well, that too, but even
I'm just saying, a little bit of extra vanilla doesn't hurt.
Use the big spoon.
Use the big spoon. Don't follow the recipe.
I think another fear is browning ground beef.
Really?
Like, yes, like I want to make sure it's brown all the way. And KP was my therapist here. So she was like, you just kind of get the feel for how it feels when it's fully cooked. And I'm like, okay. So now I've been really, what do I want to say? More diligent on paying attention to how it feels while I'm browning the ground beef.
That is probably the meat that I am least scared of when cooking, to be quite honest. I think, like, if you don't get chicken right or pork right, it's probably going to make you feel a lot yuckier than if you maybe don't get the ground beef quite right. But that's just me. But I understand, though, and I think for all of those, you kind of learn the feel of it. Or now they have, talking meat thermometers,
Right,
which
I have one.
which
Thank
I
you.
use. Yep.
A lot of times with the hamburger and stuff too, I usually tell people cook on medium so that not too fast, not too slow. And I think it has a lot to do with, I tell people cook with time. You might have an accident or two where it's overcooked or something, but if you can get some eyes on it and it took this long for 1 pound, that's probably going to be close to, but cooking pretty good. But I find a lot of people get really scared about either pulling something out or putting something in the oven because they're sticking their hands in there or they're, where's that shelf? So I hear a lot of the people I work with, that's their big fear because they open that door and you got heat.
Yeah.
And that's kind of scary.
Right. What I miss so much is frying fish and frying chicken. I used to have my fry daddy, and what I could see, I just put everything in the basket and just let it fry and have fried fish and chicken. But I'm scared of that grease popping, and
That's where your air fryer comes in.
Yep. Not quite the same,
Will it give you
as far as like
taste.
I mean, I would just say, like
It's less greasy.
It's less greasy. Yes, it's healthier,
it
which is
tastes
good.
the same.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's good.
It tastes
It's
the
just
same.
not as
It's just-
greasy.
it's just not as greasy.
Yeah. So yeah, that would definitely work for you. I don't particularly enjoy cooking bacon on the stove. Yeah. Yep. I do that a lot. And that's harder in the air fryer too, because it makes more of a mess in the air fryer and then it's hard to clean up in the coil. But it definitely works in the oven, and that's where I primarily do it. Though I will say that one time I did spill some bacon grease, and that was one of the worst things to clean
Oh, yeah.
because it's just gross. So that wasn't very fun. It wasn't scary. I was just mad. But I'll tell you who was excited was my
Dolly.
dog. Yes.
I bet she was just over there trying to lick the bacon grease.
She was. And I was like, no, because I'm not going to have what will occur the day after
Right?
if you eat all this bacon grease. But, it's just things like that you're always going to make mistakes, and it's not because your eyeballs don't work. Everybody does it. We all have times where something just doesn't go quite right. You burn something, you make a mess, whatever. And you just say, well, that was today. Let's try again tomorrow.
I was about to say, I did that cited.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But I feel like we're, and I don't want to speak for everyone, but I feel like we're so much harder on ourselves because of a disability. And so we'd like to say, well, I did that because I'm blind. Well, no, it happens to everyone. And so I feel like if we can get out of that mindset, which it's hard, but I think if we can, and extend a little grace to ourselves when things like that happen, and then don't just be like, well, I suck now, I'm not going to do it. You gotta just try again and say, well, that was a silly thing. Sometimes you do really dumb things like pouring beef broth into your instant pot, like the base instead of the pot. And I promise that was not because I was blind. That was because I probably needed to go to bed.
Right.
I was too tired, not paying attention to what I was doing. And then I had to get another Instant Pot. But it's okay. Things happen. And they're fun stories to tell at the end of the day. So.
I think for those of us that are here that are sighted, we would agree that we make mistakes. I've got scars all up my forearm from burning myself with bacon or on the oven door.
Yeah.
I cut myself all the time. So that stuff doesn't happen. Usually it's because you're tired, you're in a hurry, you're not paying attention.
I was about to say, I think I've cut myself more while I was sighted than I have since I've been blind.
That makes sense to me, actually.
And because, you depend on your sight so much and you're like, and you get lackadaisical and you're like, I'm just going to chop and blah, 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 and then I just sliced my finger.
No.
Yeah, there goes the tip of your finger. And you're like, oops, that's got to grow back.
But I love my chopper. As a matter of fact, I got my chopper from Newview. From Newview here. I love it. Yeah, I chop everything in it.
So let's talk about holiday food and our favorites, what we like. And I know we have different traditions for Thanksgiving and then for Christmas. That's what my family celebrates. And so we have different things that we do for each holiday, but let's talk about what our favorites are, savory and the good stuff, the desserts.
I love a good homemade cornbread dressing.
All right.
I will second
Not
that.
no stovetop stuffing.
No.
I'm talking about that good home style, Southern style cornbread dressing.
Get Randall to bring you some.
I love it. And if that cornbread dressing is cooked correctly, I don't even need nothing else. Just give me a little bit of gravy, a little bit of cranberry sauce, and a dinner roll. I don't need any meat. That's what I'm trying to say. If that cornbread dressing is good. And I like a peach cobbler and a banana pudding.
Ooh. Okay.
All homemade from scratch.
Right.
I love some turkey.
Uh-huh.
You give me a good roasted turkey. I mean, one that's cooked slow all night long. And that when you get up in the morning, the whole house smells like turkey. Man, I'm happy. I am so happy. But I do enjoy slaving away on baking the desserts. I love making the homemade banana pudding, and I love making the cheesecakes, and I do enjoy making macaroni and cheese.
Okay. Thought you banned that.
I thought you banned that.
No. Hannah said I cannot ban that. And that was her one request.
Well, you make it different now, so I don't. But I actually love turkey too. Now that, you say that, and I don't, an actual turkey in the oven, we don't eat unless it's Thanksgiving. And I look forward to it. And it's good the day of, where you get to eat turkey and all the other things. But then, man, it makes some good sandwiches. Or you can put it in a soup, your leftovers. Or there's so much you can do with it. It's so versatile. And I just said that like a real Okie. I'm so sorry. But yeah, I love turkey too. And I do love me some mac and cheese. Everybody knows any time of year, but I do like it at Thanksgiving as well. And my dessert, I think, would have to be, I love pumpkin bread. I have to have it at Thanksgiving around this time of year. And if I don't get it, I'm very angry. And I actually do love apple pie too. I know that's super American of me, but I love me a good apple pie. Yeah. But then around Christmas, we do something a little different where we don't have a traditional huge meal. We'll have maybe some soups or something and then do snacks. So we'll have chicken and noodles or potato soup or something like that, or a chili, something. And then my mom always usually makes taco soup around that time. We have it other times, and then we'll just do snacks. And I love sausage balls around this time of year too. So, and they're super easy to make, and you can make them in the oven or in the air fryer.
Yeah.
So
I got a good recipe from that.
Oh, it's coconut cream pie, and we do not make cornbread dressing. I'm from Minnesota.
You make stuffing.
We do stuffing, but not
the stovetop.
Not the stovetop. The old bread, cut it up, and your herbs and everything. Yes. So
I miss
that
that
and
so
then
bad.
Sweet potatoes with marshmallow topped and toasted. And corn, of course, Minnesota, Iowa, we're corn people. So a lot of cream corn casseroles, and I love a wonderful salad. Give me all kinds of there's lots of Cool Whip salads that are more like dessert than really healthy. But those are my go-to. And then we always on Christmas have elephant ears. It's a pastry, and they take half a day to make, but they're worth it. So that's our big thing.
Anita, we need to swap some recipes. My mom used to make this killer homemade stuffing, and I miss it so bad. Because being married to a Southern boy, he doesn't do stuffing. He does the cornbread dressing. Now, I know how to make my mama stuffing, but if it's just going to be me eating that.
No, we'll share. Go ahead.
Right? It's quite ridiculous.
All right, KP, what about you?
So I would follow along with cornbread dressing.
All right.
I love it with lots of onion and celery in it and gravy, and turkey. I love turkey, cranberry sauce, and sweet potatoes for sure. Desserts. I can't think of any specific one. I love a lot of stuff.
I know it's hard.
My former mother-in-law used to. I mean, she'd do at least everybody's favorite dessert. So there was like a whole table full of cakes and pies and
that was
all
my
kinds
mom.
of stuff. Yeah, she used to make. We called it chocolate goop, but it's got a crust with nuts in it, and then you do a cream cheese layer. And then it had chocolate pudding and whipped cream on top. They called it chocolate goop. It was really good.
Yeah.
One thing I can think of that I do like is, and I have no clue what it's called, but you take a big pan and fill it up with real whipped cream, and take I think they're cookies that are made by Nabisco. They're very hard to find, but they're like the cookie part of an Oreo cookie, the black hard cookies, but they're bigger and flat. So you fill up the pan with the whipped cream, and then you turn those cookies sideways, so it makes kind of a black and white stripe. But you let it sit overnight, and so the cookies soak up all the moisture out of the whipped cream. I guess it'd be kind of like a torte, maybe. But that's pretty good. And it's pretty easy. You just got to whip up cream and stick those cookies in it.
Yeah. Well, now I'm hungry, so
Right.
So it's probably about time to go, so Hannah can get some dinner,
So she doesn't turn hangry.
so I don't turn hangry. But before we go, though, I love what you said about how there's so many desserts, and so it's hard to pick, or we always overcook. And in fact, we had a man visit from India that was working with my dad, and my dad invited him to Thanksgiving with our family. And he came and he saw and he said, "Wow, you guys are very unhealthy." And we just laughed because we had every dish known to man that you could possibly think to have for Thanksgiving, every dessert. And I mean, do we eat it all? No. But the wonder and joy of the holidays is leftovers. And so, but it just made me laugh because he was just like, we would never eat like this. And I'm just like, well, welcome to the South.
Right. Because I think it was Easter Sunday. Randall and I came over to your parents' house for Easter dinner. We were invited over after church. And let me tell you, if you want to have a good time and you're sad or down and you need to laugh, go to the Kinsey household.
But one of the things I do like about Thanksgiving is where you just, you eat, you're around family, friends, and loved ones, laughing and enjoying, watching a parade, football games. You eat, you lay down, get you some rest, get back up, go get you another plate.
Right?
So that's right. And that's what you call
no judgment.
And that's what you call good living.
Yep. I agree.
Yep.
That is good living there.
Yeah. I agree. Also, you're all invited to the Kinsey house anytime.
Look, I can't
Text
count
the address.
I can't count how many times Hannah's dad has told me, "Let's go find a flight of stairs, Catherine." But I know it's out of love.
She also deserved it every time.
No.
That's
Well,
crazy.
anyway, before this gets out of hand, is there anything that you would like to say to someone who's maybe apprehensive or scared to get back into their kitchen or to step into it for the very first time? What would you say to someone like that, or what advice would you give someone?
I would tell them, don't give up, cave in, or quit. Without struggle, there's no progress. We're going to struggle sometime. Sometimes we have to take a moose out, take a break, come out the kitchen. Let me see and revamp my whole, ordeal on what I'm trying to do, what I'm trying to cook. What did I do wrong? What can I do better? But don't beat yourself up. Like you said, even a sighted person makes a lot of mistakes in the kitchen, let alone a visual impaired or a blind person. So that's what I would tell that person that's want to, try new things in the kitchen or just lost their sight and they kind of frightful of the kitchen. Just, get you a team member, get you a teacher, an assistant to kind of help you, coach you. And then once you get in and follow some direction that's going to better fit you and your needs, then it'll work itself out. It'll work itself out.
Catherine?
Don't give up. Yeah. I mean, ask for help. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be embarrassed. Don't be ashamed. Even sighted people need help. We all need help. And, I think we as a people we have this so ingrained that we have to be so strong and so independent that we're afraid and ashamed to ask for help. Give yourself that grace and ask for the help. There's training out there. There's people out there like Anita and KP and, everyone here at Newview that's willing to get out there and help you. Ask for help. And like everyone was saying, technology has come so far now. There is so many things that you can do that you just don't know. Just believe in yourself. You've got this.
All right. Well, I want to go ahead and ask Miss Anita because she come out to my house and help me with my air fryer in another week or so. I'm asking for help now.
Absolutely. And, I tell people, start out slow. I mean, Thanksgiving dinner, it's not always about all the food. You don't have to have that huge spread. Right. But if you can do something that's just so rewarding that you did a part, let other people take on, because there's always people that, sit by and come and visit, but might not bring a whole lot. Right. So let them do a little bit of that. Yeah, come get some training. Gosh, that's the best part of my job. I love working with people. Do I have all the answers? No, I don't. But we're going to make things better. I can guarantee that. Come see what we have to offer. That's what occupational therapy is about, is helping you get back to doing what you want to do. Now I have plenty of people say, I don't want to cook anymore. That's fine. But it won't stop you. If you like to cook, the possibilities are there.
I would agree with you guys about not giving up. I kind of think of cooking, especially if you're cooking a big meal or a meal that's got 2 or 3 different things. It takes some practice to get it all finished at the same time. I know I love to cook breakfast, but I still struggle with making everything all finish at the same time. So it takes some practice. And if you think of it that way, maybe start small, like we talked about earlier, and then work your way up to things that are a little bit bigger or harder or have more steps to them and more skills. And then the last thing I would say about cooking, several people have alluded to it, is, to me, if you ask for help, I know in a lot of families, everybody brings something. And so it's kind of fun to eat so-and-so's sweet potatoes and so-and-so's mac and cheese and, have access to all the different good cooks in the family or friends. And I know at times when I've spent in the kitchen with family or friends cooking, it's just such a blessing to have that fellowship and friendship. And if you think of it that way, if there's some way that you can use your home and let people come in and help with the cooking process, I think everybody will have a great time if you share the work.
I agree. Well, thank you guys for being my guests today. I know I had fun. I hope you guys did too.
We're hungry.
I agree. So am I. And to the folks listening, I hope that you learned something. I hope you enjoyed this episode. So with that, go eat some popcorn for dinner and catch us next time on Eyes Closed, Mind Opening. Bye now.
And let me change your view.